Today we're eating our way through New York's Filipino neighborhood, Little Manila, to show you why this is one of the city's best kept food secrets. We're on Roosevelt Avenue in Woodside, Queens. We've got Johnny, who's from the Philippines, fellow New York City content creator. Why are we starting at Renee's?
Renee's is the OG spot here in Little Manila. You can really taste the traditional type of food here. It's kind of like grandma's or mom's cooking, so this is the best place to go to.
I feel like I'm right at home.
If you go to any Filipino household, usually there's like spoons or forks on the wall. I'm not really sure why that's in, but yeah. in my household in the Philippines, they were like this long.
We've been here for like 31 years. The job that I used to work to closed the company, and so with my husband. So we decided to cook like the empanada and the siopaw. We started that product and sell it to Filipino store. Became famous. So I asked my husband to let's try and open a little restaurant. I'm the second one.
The second restaurant here. But you're the oldest running restaurant right now.
Right now, yes.
What do you think a restaurant like this means to the local Filipino community?
Well, it makes them feel like home. You know, it gives them like a reminder of like how the Philippines is. Just like being around family.
Before we were just 2 Filipino restaurants. Now, probably 10 of restaurants.
What are your best sellers?
Kare-kare and the barbecues.
This is too much food. This is a feast we've got here. Basically just opened grandma's kitchen to us, I think. And brought every possible signature Filipino dish, more or less.
Pretty much. I'm really excited.
First observation about eating at a Filipino restaurant, there is no knife on the table.
We don't believe in knives, actually. It's really funny. When I met my wife, she saw me cutting with a spoon. She was like, do you need a knife? I was like, for what?
Let's start with the lumpia.
It's deep fried pork egg rolls.
This is one of the few things on this table I have had. Oh, let's rock. Did that in one bite. That was impressive.
That's how you know I'm excited, and the food's good. And we dip it in like a sweet and sour sauce type of thing.
The last time I had this was Thanksgiving 2 years ago, and Ben, the longtime cameraman and one of the co-hosts on the channel who passed away this summer of lymphoma, he brought this to Thanksgiving, and it's bringing back memories, and we filmed with him a couple years ago in Little Manila, so I'm definitely dedicating this video to his memory because I know he'd be having a ball with us right now, trust me.
All right, so let's go on to the sisig. This is one of those dishes that you kind of just invite a few friends and you have a couple beers and you eat it, you're drinking.
I have had sisig before. My last trip to Little Manila, yes.
Yeah, pork belly, ear, the snout, all the good stuff, right? And then they grill it, put it on here and just chop it all up. Nice egg on top.
A lot of people order the egg in the middle. It's not standard, but it's very popular here.
Proper way to do this is you have to mix everything, right? So the egg mixes with all the good parts in there. So, and then you finish it off with a little bit more lemon. A little bit of the sisig, and you need to have some rice in there too.
One bite. One bite. So moist, juicy, so much flavor. Who needs a knife?
You don't even need this. It makes it easier to push all the rice and the meat onto the spoon. This is the main tool right here.
2 different rices. I did garlic, you did without the garlic. You said that garlic is a huge deal in Filipino food, right?
Yeah, almost everything has garlic.
This is gonna be tough to top for my favorite, I'm telling you. Pork sisig. Do you think Filipino food in general gets enough love in New York? I think it's a bit of an afterthought.
California, it's a huge community over there. It's nice to see that we have a Little Manila here, but I think there's so much room to showcase the culture, the food, and just overall the whole experience. Yeah, there's so much to experience.
It's also unfair in a way because there's 3 huge Chinatowns in New York and Little Manila. You've got one main block here and a few other places scattered, but it is growing, it's expanding, and there's a lot more opportunities for non-Filipinos like myself to come here, explore this, and try it out. Have you noticed more non-Filipinos coming in here?
Yeah, with like how social media is now, and it's helping the business out. It gets word out on like about Filipino food. I feel like right now it's not too known, but some people are catching up on it and trying it out.
To the kare-kare, my personal favorite. I grew up on this. Like my mom used to make this all the time. Peanut-based, super savory, and today we have oxtail and tripe.
Last time I had oxtail was in Queens at Dad's Deli, but that's more like Guyanese, Caribbean style. Never had Filipino style oxtail.
That's super different to the sandwich.
Yeah.
And take a look at that.
Add some rice, because as you said, rice with everything.
Yeah, and then you have to add a little bit of this on top. Very salty, not too much, just like a little dab. It's a fermented shrimp paste. We call it bagoong, that's how you say it.
Let's see. just disappeared. Remember what I said about the sisig? I don't know. Kari Kari's moving up my list right now. I don't know. I think it's because of the peanut sauce, personally.
You a big peanut guy?
Yes, I am.
Oh, dude, just
Peanut butter, pad thai, Kari Kari now.
Don't tell her, but I think this rivals my mom's, like for real. Like what I said earlier outside is like, you come here for the traditional dishes and it really tastes like you're eating it from home.
Johnny's mom, we're sorry. We know you're watching this, but
Oh, she's probably gonna.
she wants to come here now to find out.
But yours is still the best, by a hair. So like I mentioned earlier, beef sinigang is tamarind soup. Very sour. Everybody loves it in the Philippines. Super popular. Feels like you're at home. So the way I eat this, I put it on top, take some of your meat.
It feels like Filipino food. It's either you're Filipino or you have a good friend who's Filipino or you're Filipino family, but I don't think enough people are going to explore it.
Other than that, I don't think you would get that intro unless you actually know something.
No, exactly. I'm just thinking, like, you're showing me all these intricacies here. So bring a Filipino friend or watch this video or ask them how to eat it just right.
Hit me up, I got you.
This is fun, yeah.
I put the fish sauce, like a little bit, super salty, like something like that, on top of the beef.
We're putting the rice on top of the beef. Okay. Let's do it. I'm feeling the sourness for sure. I've never had beef quite like this before, I have to say. A restaurant in New York with so much competition for food, if you've been around for 32 years, you're probably doing something right. And even looking around us as we've been eating here, it's been almost entirely Filipino or Filipino Americans eating here. So that's another stamp of approval, I have to say.
The neighborhood backs you, you're doing something right. Obviously you have good food, but you're bringing in nostalgia also.
What's your favorite thing about having this restaurant?
Meeting people, presenting the food that they enjoy, like a home, family.
One of our customers have been coming here for like years. They know me since I was like a little kid. I know some customers that were young at the time, grew up, have kids, get married.
Yeah.
Grand finale is dinuguan, this guy right here, or what we call chocolate meat.
Chocolate meat, best name ever for a dish, by the way.
Plot twist is not sweet at all. Acquired taste. We'll just stick to that.
I'll try it. I'm gonna try it.
Yeah.
For the record, I have had balut before, okay, and that was by far the most disgusting thing I've ever eaten in my entire life. So I think this is gonna be better.
Balut is controversial, very infamous, but the country actually does love this. It's not like a split. Pork, you get jowl, you get heart, belly, ears. And they simmer the blood for a long time, and that's how it gets that color.
You can try pork's blood in Queens. You're adventurous, which I'm trying to be today. Gonna go on, some rice. First time. I was waiting for a reason not to like it, but I like it. Like if you told me that this was just some regular pork dish, I probably wouldn't think twice. What would you say is the flavor profile?
Very strong on vinegar. You don't taste that chocolate.
No.
You know what I mean? If
Nothing sweet about this.
I mean, we use vinegar on almost everything again. And garlic.
I think the rice is what's holding us all together. It's balancing out the vinegar flavor a little bit.
The broth itself is super rich.
Not my favorite thing of everything we had, but I could certainly eat it.
I've actually never tried balut as an adult. They forced me. I feel like it's religion in the Philippines, like you have to eat it.
It's like the bar mitzvah for Jews. You know?
There's actually a balut lady right outside Renee's. At 4 p.m. she's out there until like 11. So which one is your top favorite? Is it still sisig?
Sisig by a whisker. I like egg, and I like grilled stuff, like barbecue. It checks all the boxes for me.
Dude, if you go to the Philippines and like the first thing you say is like you ask for beer and sisig, you're accepted instantly. Yeah? You just be like, oh yeah, he knows.
Red Horse, I'm down.
There you go. Bro, you're more Filipino than I am, I think.
All right, Johnny, we've got a long walk next door to the next stop, Kabayan, and this place looks cool.
This is it, Kabayan. This is what you would call turo-turo. Basically, it's like a Filipino bodega. You can get any types of food that they have available while also getting some groceries. And I want to bring you here because I want to show you some of my favorite street food snacks.
All right, I mean, where to begin? Now, I have to say, I've been to the Philan Mart before, so a little familiar with some of these things, but I've never been to the Philippines, so not really.
This is like one of our go-tos. I forgot how to pronounce it. I haven't had this in years, but cheese-flavored snack, like chips, pure nostalgia here.
You should come to Little Manila just for the snacks. What about the sweetbread?
Pandesal, a very go-to for breakfast.
Yeah.
Heat it up in the microwave, 10 seconds, some butter on there. People put Spam or like corned beef, make it like a little sandwich out of it. This is like one of my go-to desserts.
Looks like apricots shaped like muffins.
Coconut shavings on top and you take a bite of it. Kuchinta.
Kuchinta. It's always more fun in the Philippines. What I love is, from the outside, you just see what looks like a little market, but we've got the food here. A lot of food.
So we'll get 2 pork barbecues. Oh, 2 kamote cubes, please.
Thank you so much. You know, I have to say, what a job we have. It's pouring rain, and we are standing under an awning next to the subway tracks in Little Manila. Life is good, and anything on a stick always tastes better.
Have you had this before?
Never had the Filipino version of this.
2 ingredients I think makes it unique to the Philippines. 1, 7-Up or Sprite in the marinade. If you don't have like a lemon or calamansi juice, Sprite, 7-Up is very acceptable. And the other thing is banana ketchup. That banana ketchup really puts us out there.
Cheers. This tastes a lot better than I expected, I'm telling you.
Anytime I have a birthday party or like any type of events like graduations, other than the lumpia, I go for this right away. If you're too late, it's the aunties, the uncles, your own parents, they'll take it from you.
So you're saying that like street food like this is such an ingrained part of Filipino culture?
Yeah, I would say so.
I've had pork on a stick, I've had beef on a stick. I've never had sweet potato on a stick. And this is an idea that I really think I can get behind.
We call it kamote.
Yeah.
Kamote Q, as in barbecue, caramelized with brown sugar. Sweet potatoes.
Let's try
There we
this.
go.
I'm just totally imagining a barbecue in the Philippines right now, and I'm just like eating all this.
If you're a vegetarian, go for this. You have options, just to let you know.
I think I like the sweet potato as much as I like the pork. Is that crazy? Because this reminds me of candied yams.
It really does. That's the perfect example for that.
We annihilated the sweet potato on a stick. Something important to point out to the viewers is that Little Manila is considered a micro neighborhood, which means not every restaurant in this 3 or 4 block radius is Filipino. Here you have a Filipino restaurant, and then next door you have Ecuadorian, and that's just the melting pot of New York. There's very few neighborhoods left that are purely one ethnic group.
There's a mural over here, and there's a word in Tagalog, and it says mabuhay. That basically means it's a greeting. You can say, John, mabuhay, and then it's just like, good wishes.
Good wishes and welcome to Little Manila if you see that when you come through. 69th and Roosevelt.
Yes, right next to a Mex.
Which I've eaten at in Jersey City, and that's a huge chain in the Philippines, right?
It is, it's a huge chain. It's right up there with Jollibee too.
All right, Johnny, we have shown the old school of the Philippines in New York, and now a little new school fusion for dessert.
So we're here at Purple Dough, and you'll find traditional desserts like leche flan or ube, but they have a twist to it, kind of like the cannolis, where they'll fill up the cannoli shell with ube. And I've never had that, so I'm super excited to try it actually.
I'm excited for this spot too. We gotta check this out. Oh, it smells amazing in here.
Smells so good.
I used to work corporate in the city. Just wanted time off for myself, so I thought I'm gonna open a business. I wanted a restaurant actually to begin with, but I realized the restaurant business is a little more tough. I didn't have to bake in general actually, to be honest with you. And from that point on, I kind of like learned how to bake here. And when we came out with a name, it just like, I just want something like a Filipino meaning, but an English word in it. Starting with, I remember with vanilla and chocolate cupcakes. People start saying, how come you don't have ube since you're Purple Dough? So this is our signature item, the ube leche flan. My sisters and my mom, they kind of like give me ideas what to add in the item. And the first item also we came with, it's a leche flan. But how do we make it unique? How do we make it more palatable for everybody? So we did is like, we cooked the leche flan and we actually added the cake on top. When we bake it like a flan first, then we add the cake halfway to the baking. Then eventually, when we had the other items, the ube became kind of like the central point. We have to add it on different mediums, like from the crinkle cookie, obviously. This little bakery shop in Forest Hills called Silk Cakes. It's a Korean-run bakery, and I used to visit her, and she had this like different flavors, from cherry blossom to Thai tea. At one point, she had ube. So I seen this idea before, but obviously, I wasn't copying at the time because I have no aspiration. Took like how they approach things.
Explain to us the cannolis here, because that's like so New York.
I took different inspiration, obviously. I didn't do the cannoli shells. I want to make sure it's done the Italian way. Yema, which is a custard cream we put on the mango and Thai tea. Did our own version, our own play on that.
New York is the world's biggest melting pot, and I love seeing combinations of things like this, especially the cannolis Mark was describing to us. I love cannolis. Grew up in North Jersey, super Italian part of the state. And cannoli with ube, mango, and coconut?
Coconut pandan, yeah.
So it's the perfect fusion, right?
It is, I love it. These 3 flavors perfectly describe and showcase the Philippines.
Tell everybody you gotta have at least one cannoli, but if you come to Little Manila, you gotta have an ube cannoli. You've never tried a cannoli like this, because I definitely have not.
No, I've never heard of Italian Filipino cannoli, so this is the first. I'm super excited.
Okay, let's rock.
ube hit me right away. I mean, I never would have thought to do this.
I love the crunch.
Yeah.
Initial bite, the crunch, and then all the flavor just smacks you right in.
Worth a trip to Woodside alone for this.
I've never seen anything like this. It's a Filipino flan on top of an ube cake.
It's a buttercream icing. It's a Swiss Italian, really less sweet. Then we put obviously the ube in it. One customer told me it's like a chocolate potato. That's one of the, I think, you know. I mean, most of the time we say it tastes like taro.
Let's try this. Do it.
Wow, the ube flavor is a little difficult to describe, but sweet, kind of nutty. But with all the ways that he dressed this up, this is really good.
Different textures here. You got the flan, fluffy.
Oh, it's thick, you're right.
You have a thick cake on the bottom. Strong ube flavors in there too.
The ube and the flan balance each other out pretty well, I have to say. I have not lived in New York since the 90s, but since I have been coming to Little Manila for about 8 years, it changes every time I come. Even walking on this block here away from Roosevelt, I counted like 3 or 4 different Filipino eateries. So Little Manila slowly but surely is picking up. And I have to say, I think it's a real sleeper in New York.
Yeah, Filipinos, we need to expand a lot more in New York City. I think that we have a lot to offer with food, the culture, it's so vibrant, it's just so many things that we can offer to them.
If you enjoyed Little Manila, another really delicious neighborhood to eat your way through is Harlem. In this video, we explore with a local guide. Watch this next.